Hey everybody, it's Hussein Kabani, your favorite broker, and we're back with another story for you. This is more of a personal story, but I want to share it with you anyways. We decided to go on a little trip during COVID. Originally, we were going to try to go to Jamaica, but that doesn't seem like a very safe thing to do right now. We decided, you know what, let's check out Canada. We ended up booking flights to Alberta, and then we figured we're going to drive to Banff and Jasper from there, and it was going to be an awesome trip. And if you guys know me, I am extremely anal about planning vacations. I will go on Excel. I love Excel. I love spreadsheets. I go on Excel, and I'll column A all the way down. I run the hours. Other columns, I basically have them set up as days. And then what I do is I actually use color coding and time blocking of when we're going to leave, when we're going to be in transit, where we're going to arrive, where we're going to go, what activities we're going to do. And I'll plan this whole thing out for an entire week. That's psycho about it. I basically research all of the places. I book all the hotels. Everything is good. Very excited about this trip. And something that stuck with me while I was booking these hotels. Every time I book a hotel, Expedia for some reason told me that there was 70 or 80% availability at these hotels. Just before we went to Alberta, we went camping, and it stuck with me. And while we were camping on the first day, I said, you know what? We don't know Alberta. I don't know Banff. I don't know Jasper. I don't know how long it's going to take. Sure, people tell us to go see this and that and whatever. What we decided to do was cancel all of our reservations, except one. So what we decided is that what we're going to do is we're going to go there, and we're going to go to our furthest point first, which is going to be Jasper. We're going to keep our hotel reservation there, and that's it. Right now, just so you guys have an idea, I have a couple of listings in the background that I'm working on still, and it's not rare for me to travel while I have properties on the market and still negotiate deals with it. I've done it while I was in India. I've done it while I was in Dominican. I've done it throughout the world, wherever I've been able to negotiate these deals. So it wasn't a problem to me. So what ended up happening is that the day before we left, one of my listings was really starting to get some attention. I had some agents calling me, asking me questions about it, and I knew something was going to happen over here. We're going to end up with an offer. What I ended up doing is that I was prepared. I had my iPad, and we're ready to go. When we landed in Alberta, we basically just checked our emails. I connected with the agents that were interested. Basically, there ended up being two agents that wanted to make an offer on a property that I had. So I knew that we were going to end up in a bit of a multiple offer situation. Once we landed, we did our thing. I made my calls. We updated everybody. And then we started driving on the way to Banff, on our way to Jasper. What ended up happening is we don't know these areas really well. As we got into Banff, where we're at the National Park gate, where you got to pay your fees to travel through the road, there was actually a sign over there, and I didn't tell Ima that I saw it. And what ended up happening is that the sign actually said that beyond this point, you need to have winter tires and or chains on your tire to drive beyond this point. We had a rental Jeep Wrangler. I know this thing had like 20,000 kilometers on it, and the tires weren't that great, but I was like, how bad can it be? I've been driving for so long. There's no issues over here. We continue on. The road started to get a little bit bad, and the conditions actually started to change dramatically as you kept driving. Every 15 minutes, 20 minutes, you'd be experiencing a different condition, whether it would be snowing, there would be ice on the road, snow is completely filled on the road. There was a lot of different driving conditions that we're going through. At the same time over here, I was going back and forth with both of the agents, trying to negotiate this deal before we got too far along on this road trip, because we didn't know how long it's going to actually take us to get to our next point. So what happened is that one of the agents I've done a deal with before, she was very straightforward. We talked about what offers need to look like, kind of get an indication. And she said, great, I'm going to send you something, and I think it's going to work out really well for you. And that was the end of that story. This other agent, I kind of gave her the same indication, this and this, like, you got to send me your offer. And she didn't. So I followed up with her again in an hour, and I said, hey, listen, like, I'm driving. The road conditions aren't so great. I'm not sure what's going to end up happening here. I really like to put this thing to bed. Can you please send me your offer? I don't get an offer back from her. So I call her another time, and I said, we really need to get this thing going. I need this offer from you like right away. She basically tells me that the husband and wife are undecided. They're both in different locations. They want to get together. They want to go home. They want to have dinner and talk about it. I said, hey, listen, that's on you. We're going to have to make a decision soon. Please send me your offer as soon as possible. We're going to have to move forward with what we have. 15 minutes literally after that, we basically end up having no reception. If you guys drive this road, I want you to know. So once you hit Lake Louise to basically into Jasper, you have zero cell phone reception. There is nothing. At this point right now, we have no reception, and you know what happens? The road conditions get incredibly bad, like really, 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 really bad. Got to the point of where Ima doesn't want to drive the Jeep anymore, and she was a real trooper. She wanted to make it all the way up there. She eventually says, okay, now it's your turn to start driving. I let her kind of come into the passenger seat, and I get out of the car and I jump into the driver's seat. And what happens is that literally took us 5 to 7 minutes to get comfortable and adjusted. And there is, at this point right now, six inches of snow on the car already. It started to come down so hard. it started to snow so hard and it got so dark so quickly, and it would be very difficult for us to even see 3 feet out of this car. What ends up happening, I have to put the hazard lights on. I'm driving at 5 kilometers an hour because you're going around the mountains. So there's some bends and you can actually see right over the bend. There's no barricade. There's nothing that's going to stop you from falling over. Like, you look down and you're literally looking at 1,500 meters below you. You're on this like little tight road over here, and any mistake would be very critical. I was following the GPS telling me, okay, well, you're going to come around to this turn. We're looking at the GPS and the GPS is telling me it's going to take an hour and a half. It was the most intense drive I've ever had. Like, I've had another experience like this, but this was just something beyond this. And I've gone through some crazy driving experiences, but this was really like, you know, I don't know if we're going to make it through this thing. And we even contemplating at a certain point just pulling over. We thought about it and we talked about it, and we basically said, if we pull over, we're going to get buried in snow. And if we get buried in snow, there's a good chance someone's going to end up hitting us. We decided, you know what, even if it's 5 kilometers an hour, even with our hazard lights, we got to continue forward on this thing. So we just kept doing it. I'm holding the steering wheel right at 10 and 2, and my hands are sweating so badly. Like, every 2 seconds, I got to take one hand off, wipe it on my pants, put it back on, to wipe the other one because I'm slipping, because it's like my hands are slipping on the steering wheel. My hands are so sweaty. So this carried on for like 3 hours, and it was just an incredible ride. So eventually we end up getting reception, and all the emails and text messages start to flood in. Now, here's what ends up happening. Even my client is wondering, hey, what's going on with these guys? So first I touched base with the client and I said, hey, I'm really sorry. Like, I didn't expect to lose reception. This is the situation. My client replies back, oh, wow, you should have just told us that. You guys should go check out this. They're sending us pictures of when they were on the trip. They're completely cool with it. They're like, just be safe. We know what this is like, so don't worry about it. One of the agents that I was working with, she basically said, hey, listen, I haven't been able to get a hold of you for a couple of hours. I hope everything is okay. You guys are doing well. I know you're on a road trip, so this is what I've done. Instead of this offer expiring at midnight, I've basically given you guys until noon tomorrow to get back to us. Just be safe and, you know, just connect with me when you can. Whereas this other agent, I started getting a fury of messages. This is so unprofessional. I've been selling real estate for 40 years. You don't even respond to us. What's going on with you? This is unethical. And she just kept going on and on and on and on. And then so finally, when I got reception, I went back to her and I just said, hey, listen, like, you know, we actually just went through this horrific drive. We just got reception, and, you know, I'm going to get back to you as soon as possible. I'm going to open up everything, but just give me a few minutes. Right away, your first message, did you accept the other offer? Did you even open my offer? What's going on? My main story is that here, like, we went through a very dramatic experience on this road trip, and we have one agent here that's like very, very nice, very accommodating, and we have this other agent that is just, hate to say it, but being a tool. Basically, both of the offers were basically the same offers, and we ended up going with obviously the agent that was more accommodating to us, and my clients were completely cool with choosing that offer and going forward with that offer. That's a crazy experience that I never expected to have. This is the most challenging multiple offer situation I've put together on the road. I hope it doesn't happen again. All right, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this story. We'll be back with more. Until then, remember one thing, get Kabani, get sold.
Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold.